Hello, I'm Sakashita from Alpha Advisors. Today we're talking about the U-Tokyo College of Design. It's been 71 years since the University of Tokyo created a new department. It's quite a hot topic because it's a 5-year program through a master's degree, which is different from the usual entrance exam system. Today, I'll share the complete strategy for the U-Tokyo College of Design. Regarding the key points for passing, we actually have quite a few people already preparing with Alpha Advisors. As you might expect, many are applying to UTokyo alongside returnee exams or overseas universities. They're showing great interest, visiting the campus, and we're moving forward with preparations together. I myself was in the Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences at UTokyo, starting from Natural Sciences 2, then the Graduate School of Pharmaceutical Sciences, which is exactly the academic field the College of Design is looking for. So, this academic field, the depth of knowledge at UTokyo, and its academic strength, these are actually key factors for passing the UTokyo College of Design. So, I'd like to talk about that as well. At Alpha Advisors for 18 years now, we've supported many students with overseas universities, UTokyo, Waseda, KO, and fraternity exams. Recently, we've also helped those taking AO exams with written tests. We also have many parents of young children, as young as 2 or 3, coming to us for career path consultations before they even start elementary school. We've supported those wanting to go abroad early, like junior boarding, boarding schools, or high school study abroad. This year, as well, for overseas universities, also for returnee exams at UTokyo, Waseda, and KO, many people have passed. Given that the overall number of students studying in the US is decreasing, we've seen quite a few top school acceptances through Alpha this year. For those starting their preparations now, please consult Alpha, starting with your application strategy. A key feature of Alpha is that while we support study abroad, returnee exams, and Japanese university entrance exams, we also provide support for subsequent job hunting and professional careers. Alpha's mission is to develop global leaders. Japan's birth rate is declining, and the world is becoming more global. We foresaw this about 18 or 20 years ago when we founded Alpha, and we've always focused on nurturing global leaders. It feels like the times are finally catching up, even for those who take the traditional route through Utokyo, Waseda, or Keio in Japan and get in. You can see the track record here of people who secure job offers through Alpha. Top foreign firms like Goldman Sachs or Morgan Stanley primarily hire overseas undergrads, grad students, or at least those who entered U Tokyo or KO via returnee exams and did exchange programs. We've seen so many job hunts and career futures for children here at Alpha. So, based on all that experience, we provide support starting from career planning and choosing the right schools. While for individual consultations, please search for Alpha Genius Study Abroad and reach out to us through this chat. For you, Tokyo, well, for Japanese people, it's not exactly study abroad, but there's a site called Alpha Genius that's like for power supplies or something, and it's hard to find. So please search for Alpha Genius Study Abroad and enter your consultation details there. First, I'll listen to your situation, whether it's about this U Tokyo College of Design or overseas universities or exams for returnee students. Some are already working on their applications and also for younger children. To be honest, the academic side of this U Tokyo College of Design is a breeze. Whether it's the common test in Japan or the SAT, TOEFL, or IELTS for overseas, the score requirements aren't that high. So if you start early, you can pass those tests easily. We have many seventh graders right now, but middle schoolers and even elementary schoolers are welcome for career and study advice anytime. Now, Alpha was founded 18 years ago by our representative, Mr. Irasumi, who has experience with trading companies, the University of Chicago Booth School of Business on a corporate scholarship, and Goldman Sachs. So he's an expert in, well, the screening process. Being accepted by top schools and firms like trading companies, Chicago Booth, and Goldman Sachs makes him a pro among pros. And for the College of Design essays, that's also a very crucial point. Mr. Irasumi will work with you directly to provide support. As for me, I went to Utokyo, and before that, Joshi and Utokyo. So I've been through the Japanese exam system and studies my whole life. So at Genius, I mainly support your academic side, like TOEFL, IELTS, SAT, and SSAT. Also, since I was at Utokyo myself, I've received many requests to look over essays for this College of Design program. I've been working closely with students to design their research and write their essays, and we're moving forward with that. So please feel free to ask me anything. I spent 6 years at UTokyo and I've done some AI research. My lab focused on neuroscience and is now heavily into AI and brain science research. So I often go back to listen and talk with professors. And I'm well versed in the latest developments. So please don't hesitate to ask me anything. All right, now let's dive right into the details of this College of Design using some materials. The University of Tokyo College of Design is the first new undergraduate department U-Tokyo has created in 70 years. The first class will enter in the fall of 2027. The admission details and overview are already online, so many of you might have seen them already. And as for my self introduction, as I mentioned earlier, at the University of Tokyo, I went from Science 2 to the Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences. Oh, I entered the Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences and then the Graduate School of Pharmaceutical Sciences. Well, I was there for a total of 6 years. Also, for my PhD, or rather the doctoral program, well, I've gone to consult with professors about research and such. I've also talked with recent students and thought, things haven't really changed much. But feel free to ask me anything about the University of Tokyo. After that, I went on to the Graduate School of Education at Columbia University. Within the Graduate School of Education, I studied things like neuroscience and clinical psychology. So I've been supporting everyone from a mindset and mental perspective as well. So it's the first new department in 70 years. It's been quite a hot topic. Now, for the university overview, we have this College of Design. Design departments and design schools have been popular abroad recently, but this isn't design in the sense of fine arts, graphic design, web design, or product design shown on the left. I think the image is closer to integration, like what's on the right. Ugh, what the College of Design is looking for? Things like the coexistence of people and society, also envisioning the future and solving social issues, solving the social issues of today's world, the real world, and not just in a vague way. It's not just will solve it, but because it's the University of Tokyo, it uses U Tokyo's academic knowledge. This fourth point, collaborate across diverse minds. The concept is to develop leaders who solve social issues by collaborating with various people, institutions, and organizations. As for the overview, everything is in English, and there's a September intake. Well, it's quite similar to overseas universities in that regard, and there are 100 students. It mentioned 50% international, so the quota for Japanese students, well, I think the capacity is somewhat flexible, but with 50 Japanese and 50 international students, the quota for Japanese students is quite small compared to U-Tokyo as a whole. And, well, for the first year, it's residential, meaning everyone is required to live in the dormitory. Yes. And then there are also things like long term internships. And from here, we'll get to what you're all interested in, the key points for admission. Now, this is also written on the College of Design's page, but they are looking for five qualities: intellectual capacity and learning ability, well, academic ability, and second is communication skills. Since this is an all English department, that naturally means communication skills in English. Then there's logical thinking and creativity. And the fourth one is, well, having social responsibility after all. As a global leader, you'll solve social issues and lead society in a better direction. That's the kind of quality they're looking for. Then there's self direction and collaboration. It means you're independent and can drive things forward on your own, while also having the skills to collaborate with various people. Now, there are two key points here. First, this isn't about the traditional University of Tokyo entrance exam. where you study like crazy to solve six major math problems and hope to get four right. That kind of academic smarts isn't what's listed here. While the first point, intellectual capacity, does involve some academic ability, which is measured by the common test, SAT, or IB, that's not all. In addition, the admission criteria are very similar to those of overseas universities. It's about coexisting with others. They want someone who can identify a problem as a leader and guide everyone toward a solution. As it says at the bottom regarding those top average scores, even if you have a great SAT score or a perfect score on the common test, while that might serve as a baseline, the decision isn't based solely on those scores. Some people claim that SAT scores are the key, but from my perspective, those who get into the University of Tokyo through the written exam have academic abilities far beyond what's tested on the common test or the SAT math section, even if their English isn't as strong. They've pushed their academic level way past that to take the University of Tokyo's own exam. So, that kind of information processing power or learning ability, the ability to study for exams, is already covered by that route. For this program, you just need to meet the minimum score requirements. However, the second point is that it's still the University of Tokyo, so they do look closely at academic elements. If you say you want to do something in business, they'll ask, why the University of Tokyo? Why the College of Design? Why not just enter through the regular route? So while they aren't only looking at grades, they want a certain depth of knowledge. It's not just about being smart or good at studying, it's about curiosity and intellectual ability. I think that's the key point here. Now, there are two routes, Route A and Route B. Route A is the domestic track, which is for people within Japan. It requires the common test plus TOEFL or IELTS, and ICANN is also accepted. The common test is a breeze. If you're interested in applying, especially for this year, please consult with us as soon as possible. Um, If you properly follow Alpha's intensive training and my private tutoring, I believe you can clear it without any trouble. And for those who aren't good at studying right now, as I've mentioned in other videos, there's always a reason for that. If we address those issues, honestly, anyone can get a perfect score on the common test in subjects like math and English if they work at it. Science is also basically just memorization. I think it's quite doable. Now, Route B is the international route, which I think is for returnees or international students. This involves things like IB, SAT, ACT, or A levels. As for English, it might be waived for those who have been abroad for a long time, but that's what Route B entails. Now, for the admission details, what's required is very similar to applying to overseas universities or other returnee exams. It's almost the same: GPA, recommendation letters, essays, and interviews. Then there's the standardized test, which differs between Route A and B, like the common test in Japan or the international SAT. Or IB. That's the idea. As I mentioned earlier, starting from the bottom, the fifth item, standardized tests won't really set you apart because everyone can do it. Since everyone scores well, the key is to secure those points early on with Alpha. What really makes a difference, above all, is the essay. GPA is also important, so if yours is a bit low right now, we can work together on how to improve it. Please feel free to consult with us. However, the biggest differentiator is definitely the essay. This is true for other universities as well. Simply saying you want to solve social issues like environmental problems, poverty, gender issues, or life science related ones like helping people with diseases, there are so many unsolved problems in the world. New ones will emerge too. With AI now, new challenges are surfacing. Just saying, I want to solve this problem because I'm interested in it won't get you in. We provide a lot of support at Alpha for these kinds of essays for KO, Waseda, and overseas universities. But what makes U Tokyo particularly difficult is the existence of the regular exam applicants. The question is, why should they admit you through the College of Design when others are getting in through rigorous written exams? And that's where your commitment to U Tokyo's academic fields comes in. Having been in the Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences and its graduate school myself, I know U Tokyo is Japan's premier academic institution. There's a profound respect for academia and an atmosphere that truly values academic excellence. So it's not just about saying, well, I want to solve these economic issues in the foreign finance sector, which is popular at Alpha. How does the academic side relate to that? That's the question. Say you want to solve problems in developing countries. How do you approach that from an academic perspective? But of course, academia alone won't change society, right? It's ultimately research. So there's a phase where you have to make it practical, implement it in society. So, how do you bridge that gap? Explaining that is extremely difficult. If you come to Alpha, we'll work on a research plan together. This is an entrance exam, but we naturally create a proper research plan. I mean, if your goals aren't clear enough for a research plan, why bother going to Utopia? I've written papers at both Utopia and Columbia, read a lot and written a lot, so we'll work through it together. I think this is the key point for Utokyo, especially for the essay. It's different from the typical Utokyo returnee entrance exams. It's more about how to use academia to solve social issues. See, it's written right at the top of the College of Design page. People often miss it, but Utokyo actually sends out that message very clearly. As a side note, even for UTokyo's written exams, well, knowledge, application, and thinking skills are important, especially in science or biology. Also, for written exams like world history or Japanese history, UTokyo's texts are incredibly well crafted and they provide great hints right there. So, I think what UTokyo is presenting here, as you've probably seen, this admissions section here, right here. This see the world through design part. This part. At UTokyo College of Design, UTokyo Design, we believe that by uniting creative design approaches with knowledge from UTokyo's world class academic disciplines, we can empower a new generation of leaders to transform complex social challenges into tangible, impactful solutions. This message is very strong, so you need an essay that fits perfectly explaining why they should pick you. In the essay, you have to write with a lot of detail, persuasiveness, and consistency with what you've done so far. This is Alpha's specialty. It's a bit different from other overseas universities or returnee exams for KO or Waseda. The key is to really incorporate that academic side of Utopia. That's the point. Please feel free to consult with us. Right. Well, this is related to the abilities I mentioned earlier. And they're essentially equivalent. But as you'd expect, here's a breakdown of what admissions looks for based on what we just discussed. For instance, how you view social issues. And since it says design here, it's about your process, the structure, and how you approach them. And of course, there's the English interview. Then there's your narrative, who you are, why you want to go to the University of Tokyo, and how you plan to solve the issues we mentioned. It's about why an academic approach is so vital in that context. And then, naturally, to actually execute all that, you need a baseline level of intelligence or intellectual ability. Without that cognitive capacity, it's quite difficult to delve deep into research. So, this test is meant to measure that aspect. To be honest, I feel this test is being valued a bit too lightly here. But still, you can use the common test or the SAT, ACT, or even IB. So consider yourselves lucky, come to Alpha, and let's get you prepared quickly. Okay, now this slide covers what you shouldn't do. First, pure exam prep. Just being good at studying isn't enough. Also, there are many so called admissions consultants out there. However, as I mentioned, the University of Tokyo is unique. More than you might think, the professors there value the massive resources available at UTokyo, including the significant funding for research. They'll look very closely at how deeply you can think using those resources, how far you can pursue your goals, and how that translates into solving social issues. Conversely, if a U Tokyo professor thinks, wow, that's a fascinating research topic, I really want them to do it here, you're practically guaranteed admission. But without understanding the academic side, it's hard to gauge if a topic will resonate with a professor. That's why working with Alpha can give you a decisive edge. If a consultant only knows about overseas universities or just understands returnee students, getting into U Tokyo might be tough. Right. Also, on your own, your perspective tends to stay limited. For the tests, if you come to Alpha, we advise on the Common Test, SAT, ACT, and even how to choose IB classes. So please come to Alpha and let's prepare for the testing portion together. So this is Alpha support. Well, it covers everything from essays to interviews, TOEFL, and IELTS. As for the testing part one mentioned, you'll also be asked about how you've actually addressed social issues. They'll ask, what have you done so far? So we'll work on those activities too. Also, we hold a dojo for children over Zoom, where everyone discusses a single topic together. And regarding society, we have alpha members who are adults working hard to solve social issues. We invite people from international organizations, foreign financial firms, or the tech industry to come and speak to you all as guest speakers. Then there's the recommendation letters, who should write them and what should they say. Also, regarding the application timing, it's only once a year. Some people consult us on where to apply, taking into account their return timing as returnee students. Finally, there's post admission support. Even if you get into a university, if you get stuck with job hunting afterward, you won't become a leader who can solve social issues. So, we properly support your job search. That includes those going into academia too. Whether you go into academia or get a job, we help design your career path. We also handle the preparation for that. And well, support for overseas universities or returnee students is usually quite expensive. And there's support for Ivy League schools, but for the University of Tokyo, the burden of the testing part one mentioned is quite low. Some places seem to charge 700 to 800,000 or even a million yen for support. But at Alpha, we do it for less than a third of that. Honestly, 700,000 or a million yen for the University of Tokyo's College of Design feels a bit too expensive to me. Having been at the University of Tokyo myself and looking at applications for overseas schools like the Ivy League, Stanford, or MIT, Alpha provides support for a third of the cost. So please come to Alpha. The price is low, but I believe the quality is world class. If you want to get into the University of Tokyo's College of Design, Alpha's definitely the way to go. So please come for a consultation. We've been doing this for 18 years, so we've seen all kinds of cases, both from within Japan and from those attending high school abroad. We also get many consultations from parents stationed overseas, so please feel free to reach out. All right, so for consultations, please search for Alpha Genius Study Abroad. First, please send us a message through the free consultation chat on our website. We'll hear about your situation there, whether it's for the College of Design or other overseas universities. Many people also want to apply to KO or Waseda as well, so we can help design that plan. And then, of course, there's the essay. The most important thing is the essay. For all of you, what kind of leader will you be to solve social issues? And why are you interested in that? Just saying there are many people in poverty, or people are struggling with gender issues, or the environment is important. So I want to work on environmental issues. Or I did a 2-week internship in middle school about solving environmental issues, and that's why I'm interested in them. So I want to work on environmental issues. Is just too shallow. I want to help you find the answer to why you want to commit your life to that issue. We'll dig deep and verbalize it together, then see how to connect it to academic fields, and finally, how to lead it to social implementation and problem solving. I like to discuss these things with you. I'm looking forward to speaking with you all directly.